Welcome back, MTG Joe here, and with Wizards notice that there's probably going to be a ban on Monday, going to be playing some Historic for the time being, just as we kind of shift. I did do a budget video that'll be up on YouTube for Standard. If you'd like to see some more budget content, do let me know as well. So what we're playing today, it is a update, kind of tweak of the Rakdos Pyromancer deck. So Pyromancer being built around Young Pyromancer. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, you create a 1/1 elemental. Paired that with Dreadhorde Arcanist, lets you cast spells equal to its power from your graveyard. And then you kind of have a bunch of good utility spells. So it's kind of a graveyard themed deck. What we have in the new set, Bloodchief's Thirst is a fantastic addition. It's a 1 mana kill creature or planeswalker 2 CMC or less. Or for 4 mana with its kicker cost, you can destroy any creature or planeswalker. Of note, you can target this with Bloodchief's Thirst and then pay the kicker because it's an additional cost. So you can still cast it for its full cost from your graveyard. We also have some of the flip lines we're trying out here. Malakir's Rebirth is very good. It's kind of a protection spell. If our creatures die, it comes back. So you can kind of do some shenanigans with that. Protect your Young Pyromancer. Get multiple Kroxa triggers. Even we're trying out Scourge, which I'll touch base in a sec. So it's ways to protect there. It's also a land. So main board now we're only playing 17 lands with the utility lands. So it really kind of increases our density of spells. Still Thoughtseize, still Stitcher to fill your graveyard, Village Rites. I'm trying out Knight of the Ebon Legion. So Archfiend's Vessel is a more synergistic card in the sense of claim to bring back stuff, claim fame, as well as the Malakir's Rebirth. But that kind of puts you all in on the graveyard focus theme for the main board, which is fine, but post board, everybody's pretty much playing Caged, Leyline, or Rest in Peace of some sort of graveyard hate. So it really neuters your ability afterwards, and you just have a really kind of shitty 1/1 lifelinker. So Knight of Ebon Legion is a good threat to play on 1. It gets bigger as we lose life. We're also inflicting a lot of damage to ourselves, so sometimes we could hit the 4 life loss on our own if we go Shockland Thoughtseize, for example, or Thoughtseize and then cast it again with Dreadhorde Arcanist. So this allows us to have a game plan when we don't have our graveyard available. So something I want to try out. I'm also not playing Claim the Firstborn in this deck. We're not playing Priest of the Forgotten Gods in this build, and we're not playing Phyrexian Tower. So really the only sack effects we have is Village Rites, which is inconsistent enough, I found. And the other new card we're trying out is Scourge of the Skyclaves. Between Thoughtseize, our lands, just kind of the nature of the deck, we're taking damage. So Scourge is a good way that we can both pressure our opponent, having their life total low, but also have a pretty big beater. Its power is equal to 20 minus the highest life total between both players. Still have Kroxa, still have the claims to get back our utility spells, 1 Bedevil main, and then I'm playing 1 Agadeem's Awakening, kind of a mass revival spell. I don't think we want too many just because we could really only hit 1 and 2 mana spells. Occasionally a Lurrus if we have that in there too. And then Hagra's Brood Pit is a land and a removal. So I cut 1 Bedevil to try out 2 of these instead. So where it can't hit planeswalkers or artifacts, it does have a potential cost reduction, and it just allows us to play a higher density of spells. Mana base pretty simple, a bunch of duels, and then some basics. Higher density of black sources just to be able to hit black on 1 consistently. Got rid of Castle as well. Between all the new lands that are like the flip lands, it was coming into play tap too often. Sideboard's pretty clean, a bunch of 2-ofs because we have Lurrus in there. Some Duress, Soul Guide Lantern for Graveyard. Feed the Swarm is a new printing. It's a way for us to get rid of Rest in Peace and Leyline, but also dual purpose as creature removal. Noxious Grasp, green and white stuff. Abrade and Angrath Rampage can get rid of artifacts, so cages, but also serve as removal, and this is flexible in a control matchup. And then Witch's Vengeance, primarily for the Goblins matchup. The one thing that you can play, I forget its name, the Hazaret. So Salvato was playing 3 Hazaret in the side in the last Mythic Invitational. But then you have to get rid of Lurrus. I think with the new printings and just switching, not being so graveyard focused, we might have a little bit more flexibility. At 9:15 on the ladder, still need to play some more before we could camp for the season. I haven't played Historic since the new set, so I really don't know what the meta is like. I anticipate we're still going to see Goblins, Sultai, Nisa of some sort. There's probably going to be some Omnath piles porting their way over. So we'll see with that. Mono Red, Croakies was streaming a bunch of Burn today, which is actually a pretty rough matchup. So see if that comes up. So we're playing a 93%er. Wark Kirk, play first. Keep. This hand is great. This hand is very good if the opponent mulligans. So I was gonna go Stitcher into Young Pyromancer, but I might be inclined just to do running Kroxas, to be honest. Just to really strip them of their hand. See what we draw into and what we're really up against. Okay, so it's a Cat Oven deck. I think we offer the trade here. We'll probably see some variations of Jund or Rakdos Sack, whether it be the Coco decks or Citadel. No blocks here. They short lines. Okay, so they do have the Oven. I think we poke here. And then we'll Kroxa. And then I'm going to claim back the Kroxa here. Ooh, actually. Do we get back the Dreadhorde Arcanist? Because I can go like Bloodthirst into Bloodthirst here. Force their hand a bit. Or I can get Kroxa, get rid of the last card of their hand. Since we don't have much in the graveyard, I think I'm just going to get Kroxa again. Get rid of Midnight Reaper. They mull to 5, let's punish them. Because they're going to loop this cat a bit. Wonder if this is like Midnight Reaper. Or Mayhem Devil. Probably not, because if it was Devil, you'd want to hold it up. Naturally claim. No blocks here. So we're punished a bit for using the Fame a little premature. Okay, they just concede. We'll take those. So this matchup, we want the Soul Guide Lanterns, we want the Abrades. Do I want... Okay, so let's see what we're cutting. Like the Angrath's Rampage is pretty narrow. I have 3 ways of dealing with artifacts. Stitcher's fine. So, cuts. Pyromancer's probably not that great on the play. Probably trim a Kroxa. And maybe a Thoughtseize. Trim 2 Thoughtseizes. Feed the Swarm's a little iffy as removal. This might be something we want to add, just having like a Heartless Act in the side. Maybe we get... I think I want to play to the board more. Trim a Claim. Go like that. Kroxa's a little risky as well because they are playing Claim, so if we escape it, they can steal it. This hand's not very good. It is a 3-lander, but we have no pressure and no disruption and no red mana, so it's going to be a nope for me. Not great, but we'll keep... Really love an untapped land. Okay, so they are playing ley lines, so I'm going to want to bring in the feed. Missing line drops here really hurts. So maybe we cut the Kroxas all together, bring the 2 feeds, and just go from there. Well, we hit our line drop. It's half the battle. Also lost a couple answers here. So they'll probably sack there. I'm holding this, so if the familiar goes to the graveyard, I can try to exile it. At this point, they don't really have anything in the graveyard. We can play ley lines of our own, but then we don't get to play Lurrus. So I think this is the Citadel version, because they're not playing Jengantha. Still didn't hit lands. Let's see what's going on over here. We'll get some information, at least see what version they're on. Okay, so they're on Collected Company. They do have thing. So I'm going to wait on the night, because they're just going to Claim of the Firstborn it, and then sack it, which I don't want them to do. It's kind of strange they're not bringing this out. We are just trying awful this game. Playing one Canyon Slough. Sequencing is very odd. Yeah, I'm not really doing much at this point. Feed the Swarm in. Angrath Rampage. Let's play the Pyromancers. 3 cards to cut. Two of the Scourge, just a liability. Arcanist can at least block well. Maybe trim a Stitcher, trim a Kroxa, trim a Dreadhorde Arcanist. Or keep the Dreadhorde, get rid of a claim. We're just not going to get much utility out of claim probably in this game if they have the Leylines main. This is my only like hesitation with this deck. It lacks like a catch-up mechanic. And if they have Leylines, are usually kind of in shitty luck. So I'm going to go Knight on 1, Thoughtseize on 2. Because if I draw another shock land, I can shock Thoughtseize for put a counter on Knight of Ebon Legion. This deck might ultimately just be too fragile with all the graveyard hate. Yep. Leyline on 0. Like the fact that this just nullifies our deck is a real problem. So they are playing Agadeem. Do I Thoughtseize? I probably just Thoughtseize. Nah, we'll do this. Because next turn I can Pyromancer, pay the 3 life, play the Thoughtseize, and then get them that way. This Agadeem's obviously not going to do much for us in this situation. We just need to try to get under them, try to hit an oven. Okay, so that's actually better because it's 1 point less of damage we need to take. Strider, Butcher, Priest. Just attack here. They're missing red mana. This will also come into play tapped. I think I'm just going to put Lurrus in hand. Or we could do that. So they blocked that. They took 1, 2, 3, 4. So they're still taking that. So they can play the Woe Strider this turn. They'll have a blocker for the Knight of Ebon Legion. And then I can just throw the other stuff at them. Put Lurrus in my hand. Scourge would be really nice right now. Village Rites to refill our hand. Anyone smell Collected Company? So this doesn't work the way we think it will. Because the creature dies, so then it gets exiled. I'll make a token with it though. So I'm actually going to hold this, I think, because what I can do is if they steal this, I can put the Malakir's Rebirth on it. That actually doesn't make a difference. I'll just target something when they attack. Or they just draw company into company. Hey, Dragonite, how's it going? Why not? Why not? So I think we might want another... If Leyline's more prevalent out of these sack decks... So I'm just doing this to make a token, so that way I can sack it to the priest. Need... What's our out here? Abrade helps. They do have to sack something. Oh no, they sack their stuff. Bloodchief's Thirst, Abrade, just something to get rid of the Mayhem Devil. At this point, I might just be dead. Nope. Ah, that's frustrating. Dropped like 500 slots there. So against sack, like, this was one of the concerns I had with this deck, just being, like, even that game we're not all graveyard focused and we're still running into a bit of an issue there. Maybe we get rid of these. Play the Abrade's main. Still have one slot. Still play Lurrus. Can play another Bedevil main. I don't know if we want all these Malakir's Rebirths. Or let's just go all in. What's the dude's name? Exile, Archfiend's Vessel. Okay, let's try the Vessel builds. We have the Malakir's Rebirths. Let's put the Abrades back in the side. And honestly, I think we probably do one of these down, play 3 Feed the Swarms, and then play 2 Heartless Axe. Bit more flexible here. Let's try it like that. I'll update Stream Decker after. May just end up having to jam a different deck for Historic if this isn't gonna... It's inherently powerful, but it might be better just in Best of One. Just being so weak to Graveyard, where everyone's playing Graveyard. It's not very good. Keep this. We can get greedy and put our 3rd line back. I think we do that. Or put the claim back. Actually, this Village Rites isn't doing a whole lot right now, so let's put that back. Playing the Mirror. Kroxa. Doing some of the work for us. So if we can dodge like Thoughtseize, it's not bad. They take our claim, then they claim. What's it like to have it all, opponent? Do they have the Village Rites to finish off the trifecta? Of course. We can protect our Lurrus, which is nice at least next turn. Supplier, they can escape Kroxa afterwards. So they're still playing an older version. Spark Harvest should just be Thirst. And they're just getting Kroxa back. I messed up. Whatever. Shouldn't have done that. I should have done Lurrus, because then this could have been discarded. So this matchup, Soul Guide Lantern, Heartless Act, Abrades. Coming out. Probably a Bedevil. Kroxa's fine. I think the Skyclave's fine. Probably trim a Rebirth. Trim a Claim. Actually, keep the Rebirth, keep the Claim. Pyromancer's probably the way to go. Can't see Skyclave us actually getting in for like much damage. They'll probably have a lot of chump blockers. Thoughtseize, maybe trim 1. It's actually interesting. I think we get rid of a Kroxa. Like, I kind of want all the removal. Okay, let's do it like that. Hagra Mauling's just the most expensive of it. Never not have it. They're Grixis. Okay. So I'm doing this, so next turn I could potentially kill 2 things. Probably gonna claim this Supplier just to get more stuff into my graveyard. I shocked in. So they shocked in. I did hit a Bloodchief's Thirst and a Village Rites. It's Village Rites here. Okay, so next turn I could claim back. It's actually good drawing this Lantern. So here I can do this. I think Pyromancer is worse than the Storm Tamer. Just because it can eventually go wide for them. Wonder if they're playing Lazav in their list. Okay. Storm Tamer. What's your follow-up? Double Village Rites is pretty sweet. Oh no, I had to I can't get it back that way. I'm dumb. It's 3 CMC on Claim Fame. It turns out late night streams not the peak of performance. Opponent's got a lot of cards in hand. Got a lot of nothing happening in our hand. That's fine. It's also fine. So they're like heavy on Grixis. So here we attack. Bloodchief's Thirst. I think we get the Arcanist or Lazov. Let's get the Arcanist off the battlefield. I'll exile their graveyard. Or actually, I can kill this as well. Just got the Vessel here. Presenting a pretty good clock there. Nice. Okay, so they're like heavy graveyard. Probably want the Bedevil. I don't know if I even want the Kroxas in this matchup. Like, I guess it gives me something to do later. Feed the Swarm probably isn't needed. Like the Rebirth, like everything else. Or let's trim a Claim, maybe. But we're probably going to be trading a lot 1-for-1, so the Claim's probably got more utility. If I cut this, then I'm at 1 for 21 lands, which is probably too narrow. 22 lands is where I gotta be at. Pyromancer. So it looks like they're not on Pyromancer. So Scourge is probably good here. Trim. Honestly, just gonna cut the Thoughtseize. I think just having removal will play to the board. Because like that game, they did get to pop off with the double Village Rites. Thoughtseize me. They can take our land. Might be... I'd probably take the land. Seeing that we're a one-lander. Claim is another option. It prevents like 5/5 pretty early. Alright, well we've unlocked the achievement, have your land get Thoughtseized. Okay. Do you have removal? This is where we never draw a land again. taking a lot of damage. That's 4. They're going to take 5 on this attack. I don't think I would Kroxa that turn. Like, you took our land, we didn't really have plays. Here, they take that. They don't deal with this and I hit a land, which pretty high probabilities as we only milled over 1. I can fame this to deal 7 in the air. 15. Quite a few that don't come into play untapped, unfortunately. They don't tap out. Oh, they can't shock. If we draw a claim. We were just not drawing lands. Oh, do they have a sack? They don't. GG's. GG's 1 on a 1-lander. Oh no, never mind. Yep. I take it. It wasn't good, but it got us there. You lose 1, you drop 500 spots. You win 1, you only go up 200. Alright, so I think you do need to go more Archfiend version. Saw there, just really with resource. Getting hit on the resources, we still were able to win. You might need another land in the deck. If we do... To be honest, the Scourges were probably unnecessary. You're probably better off just doing... like this, and then another swamp. Just kind of play into that strategy. Sideboard wise then, you just kind of got to play as though you're beating that. So I think this is where we'd stay. As much as like I wanted the Scourges to be a thing, I don't think this is the shell for it. The synergy with Archfiend's probably more beneficial. So I'm going to wrap this one up. Appreciate everyone stopping by. As always, have a great one. Thanks for watching.